Should start recording immediately. Make sure I got my shit pulled up.
I just don't want to forget more than anything. Like it's more so a protective.
Don't worry, you won't forget anything, pal.
What's that from?
I don't know. You just said forget in a really country ass accent.
Did I? I've been here too long.
I don't want to forget. All right, Matthew McConaughey. I'll try not to let you forget anything.
Oh, girls moved to the Pacific Northwest for a couple years, all of a sudden frowning upon Texas accents. Okay. Never forget where you came up, Corinne. Never forget who you are. All right. Remember who you are. Who's that? Who is it?
Please do the intro. Please do the intro. Please do the
Not until
intro.
you tell me who that is to prove your.
Oh my God, you're not about to grill me on my favorite fucking Disney movie of all time, the greatest Disney movie to ever be made, the fucking Lion King. Mufasa raised me, motherfucker.
Father, wait. Don't leave.
Ugh,
Remember.
heartbreaking moment.
That is a heartbreaking moment. Welcome to Long Lost Pals, episode 44, our Acres Home episode, um, the segment show. So I'm Joey.
Heart acres home. Shout out to the fofo. Hell yeah, you're right.
Yeah, I usually do athletes, but this one felt a little special, so I had to go there. I'm Joey, if I didn't say that already.
No, you didn't. I'm Karrin from the north side.
And we're gonna get right into it. We're gonna start with, you remember this is the segment show now. So instead of doing our quick news segment at the end, we do LLPNN that drops every Tuesday. So if you haven't listened to that, go check that out before you do that. That's all about current events, and this is all the goofy ass segments that we do. And we're gonna start it with the best and worst of. Now, the best and worst of is a segment where we go over the best and worst song or movie, song, sports moment, and miscellaneous news from a given year. This episode we're doing 2015. I'm doing the worst this week. Corinne is doing the best, and we always do positivity first. So Corinne, you can start with your best movie of 2015. There was a lot of good ones, a lot more ammo for the best than the worst, I felt.
Was there? Nah. I think that I wrote down a couple of movies that I was like, I feel like it's between. Oh, The Hateful Eight was one of them, and I was like, damn, this is a banger. And I can't remember the other ones that I wrote down. I settled on this may surprise a few people. Mad Max Fury Road,
It's a
best
good
movie to
movie.
come out of 2015. Absolute banger. I actually recently watched it right before Furiosa came out, which I think was early
Dope movie
last
too.
year. Yeah, I was like, damn, I fuck with what's the main girl? Shit. Goddamn. Anna. Her name's not Anna. Whatever the fuck her
I'm not
name
gonna be able to
is.
help you.
Yeah, you don't know. It'll come to me at some point. But yeah, I wanted to watch it before I went to see Furiosa. I was like, I gotta see what the hype is about. I think that you'd be hard pressed to find anybody who watched this movie and didn't fucking love it. It's not my genre at all. Action, kind of fantasy, maybe a little sci-fi in there.
Not a
Not
huge
for me at
storyline.
all. Yeah, it's just not. It's just not. Yeah, yeah. It's not really my wheelhouse. But fuck, action is so good. The fucking movie just takes the fuck off, which I love. I love a movie that I like. I enjoy a slow burn here and there.
Not too
This
slow though.
motherfucker, yeah, not this motherfucker takes the fuck. It drops you right in the middle of the story. Great performances, of course. Charlize Theron, Tom Hardy, Nicholas Hoult, Zoe Kravitz. Action is great. Yeah, I got to go with Mad Max. What did you pick for the worst movie of
Well,
2015?
first part, fun fact. That's when I first met Des and we started dating. She told me that was her favorite movie. I think it still is technically. I mean, maybe it's changed. It's been 10 years since it came out, but
Queen.
I was
We're
very
Queen.
surprised when she told me that. I was thinking she was gonna be like 50 First Dates, and she was like, "Oh, Mad Max," and I was like, "Checks out, I suppose."
You were like, let me start ring shopping right now. This is a wife.
All right, punk rock chica. No, my favorite movie or the worst movie, I should say. The worst movie I saw, but it was like user error, was The Green Room, but that was because it was more horror than I had expected. The worst
Here we
movie,
go.
I'm breaking our rule one more time. The worst movie is a movie I did not see, but it's Human Centipede 3, baby. We couldn't get past this without mentioning it because we've mentioned the other two, and this one is more wild than I could have ever imagined. I read the synopsis. I didn't watch the trailer because it was on my car. I didn't want to play on Bluetooth just in case I drove past something like, what is this guy listening to? But apparently somebody's running a prison, an unruly prison with 500 inmates, and his solution is to make a 500 person human centipede That's all I know about the movie. I don't need to watch 499 people shitting in each other's mouth. No thanks. That's good enough for me. That is by far, I would assume, the worst movie of 2015. A worst song, I'm going with Classic Man by Jadena. I think that's how you say his name. That weak ass shit. You please don't tell me you like that. I'm not trying to listen to anybody rap in a three-piece suit. Okay, that shit is whack as fuck. Looking like Chuck Taylor from the Reparations episode of Chappelle's Show. I'm not trying to hear that shit. I have no desire. The bars are trash. His whole like shtick is trash. I hated everything about it when it came out, and I was so happy to find out that I had the worst of, and it came out this year because that song sucks. I revisited it just to make sure it sucks. It does suck. I made sure that he had a perm and his hair was all fucking what's it called? Nat King Cold
Yeah.
out. It was. Don't need none of that shit. Song sucks. Your turn.
I remember that time in my life very vividly. And I remember being on 6th Street and hearing it at every fucking bar. I feel like it was one of those songs that was like, I didn't love it or hate it, but the play, it being like kind of like happy, bro. Society just takes shit and runs it into the ground. That was one of those songs. I was like, it's an okay song, but I'm like, bro, y'all gotta stop playing the shit. For me, two big things happened this year. The Weekend drops an album. So does Adele, two
Mm.
of my favorite artists. For me, it was between Hello by Adele or Earned It by the Weekend. Finnegan. Sorry, my cat is like going. He has a zoomies right now, so he's just all over the place. And I got to go with Earned It by the Weekend only because of that play value that it was fucking everywhere. Because on top of dropping an album and that song was on there, it was also on the 50 Shades of Grey soundtrack, which like boosted it. And he's the only person that I'm okay with his song being fucking everywhere, even though Blinding Lights kind of got on my nerves at the end of the day. Earned It was unequivocally, come on now. That's a hit. I don't mind hearing that 100 times a day.
That's one of those songs I don't recognize by name, but I know if I like put it on right now, I would know it. Like
Girl, you are.
I gotta hear it.
All right.
I
I'll
gotta
sing
hear
it
it.
for
But
you when we
what is
hang up.
your best sports moment of 2015?
Best sports moment. It's 2015. It's divisional playoffs. It's the Packers. It's the Cowboys. It's Des Bryant not catching
Oh,
a football. Best moment of
just caught it looking at.
2015 is Des Bryant not catching that fucking football and losing the divisional game to the Packers. Go Pack, go. Love to fucking say, who doesn't love it when the fucking Cowboys lose, except for
Cowboys
Cowboys
fans.
fans,
Yeah,
and fuck them. Yeah,
majority of
baby.
Texas.
I'm going with them losing to the Packers. Go
I'm,
Pack, go, baby.
I'm not mad at that. Worst moment. I'm gonna roll with the Golden State Warriors winning their first championship. So this was like the beginning of their dynasty. They beat the Rockets 4-1 in the Western Conference, and this was the
Ooh.
first time out of
In five?
what? Yeah, Western Conference Finals, and this is like the one out of a millionth time they eliminated them from the playoffs, including last year. I looked and I remember. So Kyrie gets hurt, and I believe it's game two. And so you know what? If they would have had the full squad, maybe they wouldn't have won this first one, and maybe they had the record breaking second season where they lost to LeBron again. So I'm like, things would have been a little different. Would this dynasty have ever happened? Would they have broken my heart every year? Would my family be saying my Warriors? You never know. Also, I want to say I have three apologies from last episode. My first apology is for going on this entirely long baseball rant that nobody gave a shit about last episode. I was listening to it, I was like, why am I talking about this for so long? A worst miscellaneous news, the Biebs news getting leaked, man. I'm not cool with people like it. It's bad enough when you take your own nudes and them hoes get leaked. Like that sucks for you, but it's also like, maybe you just shouldn't just in case. But if somebody's like literally like paparazzi style taking a picture of you naked and posting it, you're the worst type of people. And so I feel bad for him. And like I just feel worse and worse for this guy all the time. Like he made a lot of bad decisions around this time period, but I feel like there was like some rumors like some weird Diddy shit happening. Like he was in the industry early. So I just feel like this guy couldn't catch some breaks for a while. So I feel bad for the Biebs. People are terrible, and that's my worst moment.
Yeah, I mean, child stars. You really can't blame them when they kind of like go off the rails as they get older, because it's like, man, being a child in like that environment is fucking crazy. And as far as like being preyed upon and possibly groomed by somebody, whole other thing. Honestly, it was kind of like a slow year for pop culture news this year. Not a lot of scandals. Just kind of, I mean, Ben Affleck and the first or maybe the second Jennifer Garner, they break up. I went with Rihanna at the Met. She unveils the yellow dress that has a fucking 50-foot train, and 50 people got to help her up the. It made for a nice moment. It was an okay year for the Met Gala entirely. The theme was China through the looking glass. Apparently, she's one of the only celebrities that actually went with a Chinese designer. Shocking. But yeah, phenomenal dress. It was a moment. It was a look. Rihanna just doing Rihanna things.
You might as well have been speaking Chinese when you were talking to me about the goddamn Met God. I didn't understand a word you just said. I thought you were going with the that dress that people couldn't decide if it was two colors or not, because I think that
I
happened this
saw
year.
that was like
Yeah. Oh, I see gold. I see blue or whatever it was. I don't even remember.
it
Uh,
looked blue to me, motherfucker.
I have no idea what it looked like to me. That was a long time ago, but that wraps up the best and worst of 2015. We're now going to segue into our second segment of the segment show, which is Start Bench Cut. Start Bench Cut is a sports metaphor where one of us, this week it was Karrin, come up with a random topic, give three choices, and we have to decide who we are going to start, bench, and cut from our team. So we pretty much rank them worst to best because we do the cut first. Corinne, I will let you go through your thought process and explain what you chose for this week's start bench cut.
Honestly, it really wasn't even no thought process. Sometimes it was kind of like when we do bottom five, I like to go into a category that has a lot of fucking options. For start bench cut, I like to really hone in on three options that are just very B level tier. I don't want to give you all the A listers. I don't want to give you two A listers and a D lister. I want to like make you really have to fucking sift through the bottom of the bin or the mid level of the bin to figure out who you're going to start bench and cut. That's why I came up with the options this week for Stone Cold Steve Austin, The Undertaker, and the Hardy Boys. Who are
If
you cutting? I'm really interested in hearing your take because you're a wrestling boy. So, who are you cutting?
this was so blasphemous, you just literally called like two of the greatest wrestlers of all time and possibly the greatest tag team of all time B list. I don't know what just happened.
I just mean okay. I do love like Stone Cold is obviously like an A list guy, but like I didn't want to go
All
like
of them are.
Stone Cold, The Rock, and like Kane. Like
Okay, you wanted to
I
mix it
didn't
up.
want to do all top level guys. I wanted to throw some mid level in there.
But
Hardy
there's no
Boy,
mid level where you went. There's no mid level. And you
just
added a
all
tag.
stars.
This was yes, and this was weird too because you added a tag team, but I didn't want to overcorrect because this was your start bench cut. But I was like, adding a tag team made it weird too. But
I like the Hardy Boys.
my cut. I hate to do it, but There's only one reason that he's my cut. I'm going with the Undertaker, and there's a. Let me go through the good parts of the Undertaker. From Houston, graduated Waltrip High School, hooped at Texas Wesleyan, which is the random place I got my master's degree. Not by choice, but it happened to be where I got it from. Um, Great wrestler, long career. He's my cut for two reasons. Too long a career. There was a period of time where he'd wrestle like two times a year, and this man was like a danger to himself and others. Like he'd come in and just embarrass himself, looking slow, like the moves look fake as hell. He like dropped people on their head. He got dropped on his head. It was just very dangerous and not good. And this went on for like 6 years. So awesome WrestleMania streak, great versions of himself between the American Badass and the creepy actual Undertaker. The reason he is my cut, besides the last 6 years or whatever, is Big Trump guy. He had Trump on his podcast right before the last election, and that sucked for me because I was like, man, Houston guy, Texas Wesleyan guy. He's always at UT games. He tells great stories. He's got a lot of
Damn.
friends who are diverse, but wrestlers are weird. And he's a big Trump guy, so that knocked him all the way down.
Damn, I didn't even know that, but I put him as my cut too, kind of for the same reason that you did. I was just like, look, man, he's just kind of slow. I also feel like he's more into the theatrics of wrestling than
But that's
actually
important.
wrestling. I'm like, bro, first of all, you got a 10-minute long intro. Everybody got to wait. Boom.
That
We
was
gotta
long.
wait. You want to play with coffins and shit. I think he's more interested in dressing up with his cute little hat and his trench coat and shit than he actually is in getting the ring and fucking winning. Had to cut him. Do you want to do your bench first, or
No,
you
it's your
want me
turn,
to?
I think. You go your bench.
I'm benching my boy Stone Cold, and let me tell you why. I love me some Stone Cold. However, Stone Cold is showing up in the fourth quarter, 6 beers in. He's coming in hot. He's coming to fuck shit up. But the only reason he's there is because, okay, Stone Cold's mentality is like he does shit for himself. Like he got no loyalty to nobody. The
DTA,
only
don't
reason
trust
he's helping
anybody.
the only reason he's helping you out is because you and him both need something to happen. That's the only reason he's teaming up with The Rock. That's the only reason he's teaming up with somebody is because he's like, all right, we have the same goal. I'm gonna help you out right now. Later, you on your own, fam. Love Stone Cold, rock solid dude, but he just comes and goes. He's not dependable. You know what I mean?
I didn't know this was the dating game. I thought it was just who he liked as wrestlers. I didn't know we were like seeing who we're compatible with and who would be the best friend of them all. Um, Stone Cold, man, he is not my cut is or my bench is going to be the Hardy Boys. Again, greatest tag team of all time, not great on the mic. Wrestling is 50% like in the ring, 50% mic skills. And them boys,
Personality,
Matt
yeah.
Hardy's actually got great mic skills and he's recreated himself a couple times. Jeff Hardy, who's the better wrestler and the one that everybody loves the most, trash as hell on the mic. They had both had major alcohol issues, which I don't judge people for. But there was a period of time in his career where Jeff left WWE essentially because he didn't want to go to rehab, if I remember correctly. Then goes to TNA, a far inferior company, and there he showed up drunk to a couple matches and like had a rough time. He's also taking the Undertaker route right now. They're both still wrestling, and his style of wrestling is not meant to be done long term. Like just all the flips, all the risk, you could tell it's taking a toll on his body, and baby, it ain't looking good. The attire, I mean, they had me wanting to wear mesh shirts like I was dancing in a cage at a gay bar. They had me wanting to paint my nails, so shout out to them for that. Influencers during the time period, but off mic skills and the longevity, I'm gonna have to go Hardy Boys. I mean, I respect it, but know when to quit. Like, don't tarnish your legacy. Know when to quit.
I feel that, but that's why I started them. Them boys, they shoot out of a fucking cannon. Boom, Hardy Boys are in the either one. Which one do you want? They both going hard in the paint. They're doing flips. They're doing backflips. They're doing drop kicks. They're off the top of the ropes. They're off the top of the cage. They're fucking riders. They leave it all on the mat. Those are the guys who you want starting for you. Those are the guys that you fucking call. Hey, we got some people out here talking some noise. I need you to pull up. Stone Cold gonna have you waiting 2 hours. You gonna get your ass whooped waiting for Stone Cold.
You got to finish those beers, man. You want to waste the beers or not? It's honestly financially responsible because he's not wasting any beers, and you should respect Stone Cold for that. I just want to say, with him being my start, hasn't been confirmed, at least that I've seen, that he's a Trump guy. I mean, most would assume, like, probably is, but you know what? Hasn't been confirmed. So I'm going with that. Got to have both to be a great wrestler. You got to have the ring skills and you got to have the mic skills. One of the best on the mic ever, taught people how to, he was everybody's dream. He was flicking off his boss, giving him stone cold stunners and, getting hammered. Like, what more can you want? In the ring, he's not doing anything too flashy, but the stone cold stunner is one of the coolest finishing moves of all time. His beer, delicious. This guy, there was a period of time when he was retired and he would just come out on a four-wheeler, like working as like the general manager or whatever. And after the show would end, he would just get drunk with the fans and stuff and have a kick-ass time. And also, he retired like he was like medically having issues and he stopped wrestling in like 2003. He had one more match after that, and that was like a couple years ago. And it was a banger. He did all this shit. He went out on top. And you know what? He's not hanging on to it like these other guys are. Shout out to Stone Cold Steve Austin. Hope you're not a Trump guy. Undertaker, you seem like such a good hang and such a good guy. Why do you got to be a Trump guy, man? Why?
Mm,
Because you didn't finish your education. That's why, probably. And that's my start bench cut.
yeah, no,
And
that
that
sounds
leads
good.
me to my second apology is I want to apologize again for skipping your start last week, getting so overzealous and just being like, yeah, I should pick fireworks, whatever, and moving on. I
Well,
didn't do it on purpose, but I apologize again.
I gave my start first this time preemptively, so we didn't have to worry.
It was a smart move. Smart move. Fool me once, shame on me. I don't know. You know how it goes. Shame on whatever. Shame on you. Fool me twice. Shame on me. We are going to move on now to not up in my locker room. I think we're pretty much going to stay with not up in my locker room till
I
football
have
season ends because
to.
you really just follow football. I follow basketball, so we're going to go with that. Not up in my
Wait,
locker.
I actually looked at because the Critics' Choice Awards was this past
Oh, we should
weekend.
have done
I
that shit.
So, well, I was looking at the red carpet and I was like, there really ain't no misses. Not like egregious misses. I feel like those people all have stylists. I feel like the reason it's so easy to go after athletes is because these guys are just waking up and picking their own clothes.
Some of them. I feel like the ones that are the
Most,
worst
I
are the
would
ones
say
that have
most
stylists.
of them, most of them. I
I feel like
don't
the
think that these, for a tunnel fit, for an arrival fit, you think that these guys are like, I need my stylist? I don't know about
thousand
that.
percent. Like some of them, like Jason Kelsey, absolutely not. But some of these
Uh,
guys, for sure. And the guy you picked, definitely not. But the guy I picked, for sure, a stylist, for sure. Joe Burrow,
Stephon Diggs.
yeah, for sure, a stylist. But we can go on with yours. You want no? Who's we doing first?
I'll go first.
Okay.
I'm going with Joe Tippmann. I've never heard of the guy. I was just perusing arrival photos for week 18 in the NFL. This guy shows up in what looks to be a Hot Wheels jersey. He's dressed like a Hot Wheel, like literally. I was like, "Sir, did you show up to drive in the Indy 500 or are you about to go fucking play football?" And then he's got the overalls on top of it. Look, white people, y'all just got to be careful wearing overalls. You look like a fucking hick. He looks like he's about to fucking go harass some young innocent black kids loitering at a park for doing what they're supposed to be doing, which is being kids at a park. Sir, you can't wear that over here. And now I'm like, are you a Trump supporter? Because it's giving that you showed up looking like a Hot Wheel, dressed ready to go to the Indy 500, about to harass some Black Lives Matter protesters, or are you here to play fucking football and get your ass whooped by the Bills? Because that's what actually happened.
I gotta say, Corinne, you sounding like very much a shut up and dribble type of person. I mean, you're not telling them to shut their mouths, but you're telling them like cover up and play. Like you don't want any of these people to have any freedom of speech, freedom of dress.
Cover up and play. Shut
Like
up and dribble.
that's you right now. Very hateful. I was
You don't
honestly very surprised that you picked this because hold on
really.
a second because I'm fairly certain that's like a motocross shirt, like a motocross
Yeah,
jersey, a motocross shirt, and I think you have one of those. I think you've seen one of those
I have
before.
three of them.
Yeah, you're very much a motocross Disney Channel original movie style gal. But anywho, yeah, I didn't have much beef. It was a weird layering. I like overalls. I think there's ways to wear them. These are black overalls too. If he was wearing the light blue kind, that's very hickish. When you wear the black overalls, that's a different story. Khaki overalls, probably a bad choice too. I had no beef with the overalls. I did have a little bit of beef with the motocross shit. Not for me. Not a sport. I'm not Travis Pastrana. I don't need any of that
Come
shit.
on, man. You got to look at that fit and be like, he's about to go harass some black
That
kids.
is
All right.
not. I mean, it's giving confused man more it's giving me anything because the lower layer is racist man, Trump supporter Karrin, and then the top layer is giving Chance the Rapper. So I don't really know what he's going for here, but shout out to him for having some creativity. I hate to do it. Mine is Alperen Sengun, center for the Houston Rockets, and I don't know what the hell this shit is. It looks like literally. First of all, one of my biggest pet peeves is when rich people wear shit with holes in it. And I know that shit's expensive and it shit has holes in it. Okay, so you're telling me you probably paid
Oh,
like $300 for this t-shirt and someone just took some scissors and cut some holes in this shit? Worse than that, it looks like a Walmart style graphic tee. I hate more than anything grandpas who like have shirts that say, "Oh, you want to see me mad?" or you I can't even come up with one. Like my wife married a sex machine. I don't know why that's the first thing I thought of. That combined like 10 shirts. And I hate graphic tees that just have sayings on them for kids or adults. And this one says, too bad to handle. Like, what is that shit? It fits him like a poncho. It looks like it is a poncho. It's weathered. It says that weak ass shit on it. I don't know what the fuck it is. He's wearing it with some generic ass khaki pants. And then on top of that, he looks like a Death Eater from Harry Potter. You don't know what that is, but it's the bad people that float away and they just look like a black cloud. Like if some wind starts blowing, that's exactly what he's gonna look like. This shit is fucking terrible. I hate it so much. Alp, I love you. Within a minute of this game, in his entry fit, he got hurt his ankle, and that was karma for this trash ass outfit. Like, goddamn, man, I don't know what the hell this is. Never again.
I'm also not really loving that duffel. Like the okay,
That's the Pittsburgh Steelers duffel.
we briefly talked about men carrying purses the other day, which we'll get into. I'll go into a 10-minute rant on that another time, but it it's supposed to be an accessory, baby. You got to match it. I feel like that yellow don't match with nothing else. It don't match with the shoes. It don't match with nothing. Let's just do. And this is why men don't need to be carrying purses in the first place. But
I know that shit was expensive. That shirt, I know it
oh
was.
yeah, first the bag is 5K easy. The poncho probably also a couple hundred, maybe.
Too bad to handle, baby. Fudge out of here. Um, and that wraps up Not in My Locker Room. The good thing about this, though, this inspired me for a segment that I'm going to pitch to you for next season that we will discuss when we get off of here. We're gonna,
Poncho time. I
this
got a
outfit.
poncho.
No, this outfit inspired me for something.
Yeah,
Um,
the new segment, poncho time. You got a poncho.
it's not poncho time. It's not. I mean, that'd be a very easy one to do. We just put on ponchos and talk about stuff. But no, that is not.
Have one. Damn it, I should have worn it. Okay, if the Steelers, fuck man, if we win this game against the Texans, you guys, first of all, check out our sports banter on Long Lost Pals News Network, which came out on Tuesday of this week. So go back and check that out. We definitely talked about how both of our teams are in the playoffs right now. Steelers play the Texans on Monday. We will be recording next Tuesday after the fact. So there's gonna be a little shit talking, I'm sure. I have a poncho to wear. My brother just sent me one from Mexico. And I think I'm gonna wear it regardless. But if we beat the Texans, which is going to be a feat, you guys' defense is fucking crazy. The poncho is gonna be fully on 10. It's a gorgeous poncho. It's a Steelers.
Wear that hoe regardless. I'd be wearing
I'm
that.
gonna I'm gonna wear it regardless, but it'll be even more victorious if we actually do win first round of playoffs.
I'd be wearing it every day. But before we go, we got to do our parting quotes. I almost forget it every time. So, what do you got for me? What's your quote?
You know, I had a lot of options this week because the Steelers are the Kings of the North, AFC
Mm.
division, yada yada. I wanted to go back through a couple of the videos that like First Take and shit and all those sports podcasters and all these people dropped about a week ago before we played this game. And I just was like, I want to put out one quote that they said about the Steelers before this game. And the quote that I was like, I don't know what this offense has without Metcalf. And I would like to reiterate that we beat the Ravens in January without DK Metcalf. We put up 26 points. That's all I got to say.
Mine is from the town. So one
Ooh,
time my buddy
banger.
had been drinking and we had some barley sandwiches and it was probably like 2 a.m. We had a heart to heart. And he said this quote to me and I hadn't watched the town in a while. And we rewatched it. And the way I remember the quote is different from what I'm seeing online. The way I remembered it was, "Whose car are we taking?" But this one says, "Whose car are we gonna take?" And this is a line where he pretty much goes to his friend Ben Affleck and he's like, "Hey, we're gonna hurt
I
some
need you
people.
to.
I can't give you any info, blah blah blah." Pretty much just the ride or die quote. And he just responds by Jeremy Renner's character, "Whose car are we taking?" Or "Whose car are we gonna take?" And that is a great quote. Don't ask questions. When people are your ride or die, they're your ride or die. And I feel that way about a lot of people. So shout out to that quote. Great movie too. I wouldn't mind watching it again. Even though we both watched it fairly recently, I would easily watch that again. And you
Yeah,
know
it was
what?
a
That wraps up episode 44, our Acres Home episode. Shout out to anybody who's tuned in. We have yet to hit 17 subscribers, which I believe was the quota for Karrin to eat a raw egg. We're
I'm
getting
waiting. I'm fucking eager.
we're getting very close to our 1 year mark of making this show. So shout out to that. Shout out to everything. Um, Stay positive with the upcoming NFL playoffs coming up, Corinne. But more importantly, you got to stay fly, baby. Wow.